Good evening, or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next part of the series of the Brundle's Grid Preview. Hello, once again, myself, RSF1 Michael, also known as Brundle, and I'm taking a look this time at F5. So, F5 as a summary, yes, maybe the slowest drivers in RSF1, but do not take them less granted than everyone else. This is still going to be a very competitive season and a very competitive tier for going forward. And last season especially was very good races. And of course we have a few new names into the fray, but also we have names that excited us all throughout last season. So this season should be no different. Obviously the biggest thing in F5 this season is Scotsman and Jesse, who both not necessarily dominated, but was near the front throughout most of the season. They're now gone. They're in F4, as they deserve to be. So this opens up F5 tremendously. This, I think, in terms of like toughest tiers to call, F3 and F5, I think, are very, very close. This is all going to come down to who is going to get the more points week in, week out. Who can, in races that are difficult for them, who can like get the best out of a bad situation, basically. That's what it's all going to come down to. But let's go through them all. Let's start off, let's go the other way around. Let's start off with Williams this time, because obviously I've started off with Mercedes every day this week. Let's go with Williams first. So let's start off with Williams. And first of all is a driver that some people pronounce differently to others. I call him your boy Prio, but Grunty and others say your boy Prowl. We still don't know fully what this guy's pronunciation of his gamer tag is properly, but I understand it as Prio, like Andy Prio, if anyone knows a toy car driver with the same name. Anyway, he recently joined us back end of last season as a reserve driver, so first full season out for your boy Prio. And yeah, it's going to be a voyage of discovery, a voyage of unknown for this guy, because, as I said, first full season, he's got to hit the ground running from the get-go. He's got to have a good, strong start to the season, maybe in particular tonight in Australia, and then let's see what he can do. He could be a big surprise. And he is partnered up with a very strong driver of Tedist, or Ted First. That's another one. I call him Tedist, other people call him Ted First. So yeah, again, we're still working on that, but Ted, if you will, has been in F5 I believe for the last couple of seasons. I know he was in last season and actually did very well last season, 177 points, 4th place in the championship. Wasn't a Ferrari, so of course he has to adjust to the Williams. But I reckon he could be up there. He again, like all the drivers, consistency is going to be the main important thing for F5. It always is. So he's going to have to be consistently up near the top, but he has the qualifying, and I think he has the pace to be up near the front. So Tedist could be one to watch. Next up is the Haas F1 team, and the first driver we look at is Papa Smurf, who I believe is another driver who, like your boy Prio, is having his first full season in RSF1. Seems a quite accomplished driver, as Papa Smurf. Likes to have good conversations with everyone else off the track as well, so seems a nice rounded fellow. So yeah, it could be another one similar to your boy Prio, a dark horse going forward this season. Yeah, not much else I can really say about him because I don't know much else. But there you go. Seems a nice driver, so could be hearing a lot from him. And he is partnered up with Bradley Johnson 2, who I believe is another reserve. So two completely new drivers doing their first full season in Haas. They're going to need, obviously, a bit of help from the team principal of Haas, which escapes me for some reason at the moment. Where is it? It's Think Diggles. So they do have a good team principal of Diggles to help with setups and race strategies. But again, Bradley Johnson could be a dark horse. Next up is the Alfa Romeo team, and they have some two very enthusiastic drivers of RSF1 Hippo and Kabuki. We start off with Hippo first. Hippo, where was he last season? Wasn't on the championship table. Again, another reserve, although he did plenty of races. So, and I think got a few points as well under his belt. Oh no, it was Geraldinho, 37. So sorry about that. So Ferrari engine once again for Geraldinho, or well, now known as Hippo. Again, has improved gradually over the weeks that he raced with us last season. So yeah, can only go from strength to strength. I think the trajectory is upward for Hippo. Needs to qualify well. I feel like qualifying is a little bit of a difficulty, especially last season, but maybe finding his feet. So maybe this season could be again one to push forward from. Kabuki the same, only 5 points last time, but that wasn't a full story. He seemed to qualify in the midfield, and the midfield is always the danger point of starting in league races. So again, if he can sort out the qualifying, same as Hippo, this team could look strong. But again, needs to be in Q3. I think more often than not, could do so this season. Because again, everything's all opened up now that the title contenders of last season have moved up. Next up, the Racing Point, the Pink Panther team, and we start off with RSF1 Lincoln, who used to be called Lincoln Dave. So another driver that has joined the clan, if you will, of their gamer tag. So thank you very much for that, Lincoln. 84 points for Lincoln last time out in the McLaren. It was a good qualifier, but seemed a few races ended up being in situations that weren't his fault. Again, that can easily be worked on. The pace seems to be there for Lincoln. So, and if you have the pace, first off, you can always work on situations and keeping out of trouble, when to push, when to not to push. So he can figure that out over the first half of the season, and if he's in the title fight, could be up there towards the end. He is partnered up with RSF1 Source, who got 14 points in the Mercedes last time out. So Mercedes power engine, similar to last season, pink rather than black this time. And Source is another driver. There's a lot of drivers in F5 that you just love to talk to. I mean, they're always in the chats whenever I stream, whenever I'm watching. They're always commenting on other tiers. They're very much involved, and it's great to see. Source is another one. He seems to love the league at the moment, which is always a positive. In terms of the racing, again, this could be an upward trajectory, similar to Hippo. They both seem to be going in the same direction in terms of pace and consistent results. So again, Source, anything goes really. Can he get his first podium this season? I believe he could. We shall see. Next is the AlphaTauri team, the AlphaTauri Honda team, and we start off with a name that sometimes brings sniggers to people, and that is Force Manure. But he is a very solid driver, is Force Manure. 80 points in the Renault last time out. So a different style of car this season with the Honda compared to the Renault. Yeah, very accomplished driver. Will turn up, which is first and foremost, again, a good asset to have in league racing. Yeah, seems to be motivated and pushed to keep on pushing, and he's got a good team principal of Blazer Guns behind him. That could do well for him. So yeah, he'd be looking to trying to go forward. Can he get his first win? Possibly, quite possibly. He's joined by a driver that never moved teams. Was in an AlphaTauri last season. Was always seen to be up there, challenging for podiums and good consistent points. Always stays out of trouble, and that is Timmer. Timmer, a very, very popular driver in the RSF1 league at the moment. Very much established around the community. Never gives up, it seems. There's a never give up attitude, which is a great asset to have. Yeah, could this be his year? Of course, 4th place in the championship last season, finished behind Daniel, and obviously we'll get to Daniel soon. But oh no, he finished behind Tedist and Daniel, 137. Sorry, mixed up the names there. But yeah, still a very solid season for Timmer. I believe he got a race win last season. I believe there was one, and I can't remember what track it was, but definitely it was very much well deserved. But this season, can there be more wins? Potentially, very much so. For Timmer, he's going to be there. He's always going to be in and around the top 10. My prediction would be. So if you can continue with that, could be up the front of the field. Next is the Renault team, and the first driver I must pick out is one of the early favourites, I feel. Quite a few people are saying that, and that's mainly because of his performance, in particular the final round in Abu Dhabi, but in particular the last few rounds of the season, and that is Andy Yuzgin. Was in the Alfa Romeo last season, and as I said, dominated almost Abu Dhabi last season. Kind of a surprise, I guess, because he's been hanging around the midfield until that point, but that could be an indication of the fact that he's changed the system a little bit and possibly has got a little bit faster, or even that, the nerves have gone, because he was obviously new to the league last season. So this season, quite a few people, including myself, are thinking this guy's going to be at the top of the field. He's got a good car as well. He's got a very motivational principle of Shane to push him even further forward. So yeah, this could be good for Andy Yuzgin. We'll see what he can do. And he's got a good teammate of McCracken. McCracken had a troublesome season, similar to myself in the Williams. 72 points in the end. Didn't tell the whole story because he qualifies seemingly very well, apart from the odd few tracks where it doesn't come together, but that happens sometimes. Yeah, a very motivated driver, and I don't think that has lost. I don't think he's lost any motivation from last season, or it seems. Very much looking forward to this season is McCracken. He's having a few troubles apparently this morning with his Xbox. Apparently it's overheating or something. I hope he gets things all sorted out for that, because he is a very nice guy, and it'd be good. It'll be unfortunate to hear that he has these problems, but hopefully they can be sorted out. As for his season, yeah, again, consistency, staying out of trouble, qualifying well, will do good for McCracken this season. I reckon he can do that. Next is the McLaren team, and first off, I'm very neutral. I have obviously my personal favourites here and there, but I try to be neutral. But I have to say, this first driver here in McLaren, I hope he has a very good season, because this guy, he's been in F5 for 2-3 seasons now, and just never gives up. I've never even seen him complain at all. Maybe he does and I miss it, but I just don't see it. He never says someone is too fast. He never says someone is too, so on. And that is often. He even messaged me after the F2 social race, which he got a podium from, and said, that's my first podium in 100 and so races in RSF1. And he was so happy about it. And it's great. It's great. They're rare to come by, these kind of attitude drivers. And I remember one particular season where he was a lap down from people and would still keep going. Many others would be like, oh, that's it, bad night, retire in the pits. This guy rarely retires in the pits. Really want him to get a podium this season at some point. Don't know where that will be, but I feel that he could do it. this season. He's got a good teammate to push him along, and that is RSF1 Locker. Now, Locker is unfortunately known for last season in the Red Bull in Australia, a lap away from winning the race, and ended up losing it on the few corners away from the end. He then left for a little bit, came back, and then joined the Racing Point team. And ever since then, seems to have got the groove back a little bit. A break sometimes helps going in league racing to recharge your batteries. And in this time, he's in the McLaren, as we said right here. Yeah, he'll be desperate to right the wrongs in Australia tonight. Will be absolutely desperate. Could win tonight, potentially. Of course, there are other drivers on the grid that could very much push him, of course. But yeah, he's going to right the wrongs. Sorry to remind you there, Locker, but you kind of knew I was going to mention it. But yeah, first full proper season back. Let's see what he can do, Locker. Again, 49 points last time out in F5. Should be a lot more this season. Red Bull is next. The two drivers that I'm going to be obviously biasedly supporting because I drive the Red Bull myself. And we've had a up and down week so far in the two races we've done this week in RSF1 Australia. But our first driver is Daniel P45. Now, last season finished third in the Drivers' Championship, 191 points in total. Finished behind Jesse Racer and Scotsman, which, as I said at the start of this, have moved up. So does this mean Daniel could be a front runner? Possibly, very much possibly. He can, he is still changing, getting used to the no assist thing, which he did last season, which seemed to get on top of. There's still obviously a little bit of fine tuning with that potentially, but again, seems to be okay. Remember, this is a guy that was challenging for the title a couple of seasons back in Tier 4, I believe. So he's still motivated to keep going strong. So this season could be the one for him. He is joined by a driver called Immortal, who has the Red Bull again from last season. So, as I've said all before in these, the same car from last season, you may not think it helps, but it does, because you don't really have to change something. You may want to tweak a little bit to get a little bit faster, but if you've got a car that knows how to handle with your setup, that's always going to be a good thing. So again, Immortal can push on, and he got 93 points last season in F5. So again, with the front runners gone, he can maybe mingle around with the podium sitters, maybe even a couple race wins, and push Daniel even further along. So good, decent team in Red Bull there. Two more teams left. We go to Ferrari, and we go to our only team principal that is in F5 this season, and that is RSF1 Raikkonen, who is the team principal of Ferrari. So Raikkonen had a can't really think of the word. He didn't turn up to most races, but obviously because he is was working most of that, and obviously life does come first before then. But he has moved to F5, can race a few more races this season. So this could be all the motivation he needs to try and get some good results and maybe near the top of the championship. He is, of course, in the Ferrari team principal as well, so be motivated to race for it. He didn't want the Ferrari, even though he is named after a former Ferrari driver. And even though he loves Ferrari, he just doesn't like racing it, apparently, because he wasn't very happy with it at the draw. But yeah, he'll be pushed to go forward, and could be the transition to F5, could be the boost up that he needed. He is joined by NV Tacticals, and Tacticals, I believe, is racing his first whole season. I think so. Yeah, so Raikkonen will be keen to get his teammate up to speed as quickly as possible. Yeah, Tacticals is going to have a very good teammate behind him. So could spell very good things for the Scarlet Ferrari car here. Yeah, not too much else to say about tacticals, so apologies for that, but I don't really have much information about him. But we're to the last team. Last but not least is the Mercedes, of course, and we start off with Shadow Moses in the Mercedes. Shadow Moses, similar to Hippo and Kabuki Source and all those, the upward trajectory in terms of pace and improvement is coming from Shadow Moses. Was in some unfortunate instance during the races, due to, I guess, qualifying, I believe it was. But if he can sort qualify now, get into Q2 and Q3 on a regular basis, then the race results will come his way. A completely different car this time in the Mercedes, because he was in the Haas last season. So yeah, the improvement should be there and would still continue. He is joined by RSF1 Double, who got 58 points in the Ferrari last season, so completely changed the scene, going from that screaming Ferrari engine to the, I guess, screaming still Mercedes. It's just a different type of sound, I guess. Double, yeah, he again, he's another driver that is improving week in, week out. Seems to... It seems with a lot of these drivers in F5, it's like a lot of consistent, but the ones that aren't are like, they're good qualifiers, but the race doesn't work, or not so good qualifier, but they've got good race pace. Double is one of those that has good qualifying pace, it seems, but the races again, this doesn't seem to come together. Could a change of scene to Mercedes be exactly what he needs? Very much potential. Could be one to watch, Mr. Double. And that is it. That is your F5 grid. A very competitive grid, I see. It's very much open. There are a few names that stand out, obviously, from what they did last season and the potential that they have. Obviously, that's all we can go on. And of course, we all know that when it comes down to the racing itself, when it all gets underway, things get out very, very differently. But what have I put for my top 5 in drivers and top 3 in constructors? That is the big question. And this, as I mentioned at the start, is a very, very difficult team to predict. Very, very difficult. Completely open. These 5, again, don't take to heart if you're not here, or so on and so forth, because it could be anyone. It could be absolutely anyone, but I had to do 5 to start conversation, and teams as well. Teams could be any sort of way as well. But I start off with 5th place, and I've put a Red Bull driver that I know, Daniel P45, in 5th place. Would be a couple positions down from that, but here's my thing on it. He got 191 points last season. I reckon he's going to get more, but still maybe be 5th. It's going to be that close. I reckon these top 5 are going to be 20, 30 points in between them, and it could be any order of this 5. Daniel could even win. It's just, as I said, that close. But I put Daniel P5. 4th, I have put the Renault of McCracken. Yes, McCracken would be, I think, very happy with a 4th place if it all comes out like that. And yeah, as I mentioned before, he knows his way around F5 now. Was in it last season, knows the caliper drivers. They haven't really changed that much from last season. Some are doing their first full seasons, of course. But a lot of drivers he knows. He knows who to give the space and who doesn't. So again, could be a good stead for him going forward. 3rd place, I put the team principal Ferrari, Raikkonen, in 3rd place. As I mentioned before when I spoke about Raikkonen, when we were going over the full grid, I think obviously the change of day is going to help. He can race more races. That he's going to be in a competitive situation, I do believe. I don't think he's lost that much pace, despite not racing. So I think he is still Still going to be near the front. He could very much win, as I said, of the other two before McCracken and Daniel, and any of these top 5. He can even add 3 more to the list. But again, Raikkonen knows the drivers. And again, he's more motivated because he's a team principal. That could be all the little extra things that he needs. Second place, though, I've put the Williams of Tedist. Ted first. Tedist, I know, has been in F5 a couple of seasons now, and has been near the front pretty much consistently. It's just, again, for some reason, I mean, he ended up 4th last time out in the Drivers' Championship, behind Daniel. And as I said, because Jesse and Scotsman had left, technically the fastest after that was Daniel and then Tedist. So could be a winning year for Tedist. He's got to get used to the Williams, obviously. It's a bit different to the Ferrari that he had last season. So, yeah, could be good for him. So who have I put first? Who have I put first? Well, as I mentioned when we got to him, I've put the person that quite a few people have put near the top, and that is Andy Yuzgin of Renault. I think all the components are there potentially for Andy Yuzgin to win this title, because you go from the back end of last season, especially Abu Dhabi. I know that could be just a one-off race, but it looked calm, collected, and really controlled that race, and that was a good thing to see for him. He's also got the team principal Shane, who we know is passionate to improve his drivers and get good results. He's very competitive to try to win the season. That's only going to push Andy further. Also got the teammate McCracken. So it's all there. It's all there. He's just got to do the job in hand to get results for him. So that's my top 5. And as I mentioned, don't take it to heart if you're not here. I can add another 5 or 6 onto that list of 5. It's just, again, you could put them in any order. Even Daniel in 5th could win. Mention it over and over. It's just my opinion after all. Teams, though, go for our top 3 in the teams. 3rd place, I've put the Ferrari team of Raikkonen and Tacticals. As I mentioned, Raikkonen, I believe, is going to be near the top of F5. Obviously, the question would be, is Tacticals. Well, Tacticals is quick, but he hasn't done a full first season yet. Raikkonen is going to have to mentor him throughout the season. So the question would be, how quick can Tacticals get up to speed and used to the surroundings of F5, which is going to be a very competitive tier. But 3rd place, I think both would be very, very happy with that. 2nd, I've put the Williams team of your boy Prio and Tedist. Similar situation, just reverse. Tedist, obviously, similar to Raikkonen, I believe is going to be near the front of the pack this season. Your boy Prio, first full season in RSF1, so similar situation to the Ferrari team. I reckon the Ferrari Williams are going to be very close. It's going to be close between Tedis and Raikkonen. Prio and Tacticals are going to be close as well. They're both going to be kind of similar battles to each other. Just who's going to come out on top between the two. Can be very close. I also think they're going to be very close to my eventual winner, or predicted winner in my thoughts, and that is going to be the Renault team of Yuzgin and McCracken. Almost repeating myself over and over about this team, because they're two very strong drivers, two very consistent drivers, and I think they're just going to edge out Williams and Ferrari. Again, though, Ferrari could win, Williams could win, Renault could win. There's another couple of teams in there that I haven't even mentioned. Racing Point potentially. Who else? Red Bull as well. So yeah, they could all be there. Renault, I'm seeing just slightly edging it. Again, based on the fact of all the components that are there to potentially win. And that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed that of F5. Sorry I couldn't give a lot of information about all the drivers, but hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm just going to grab somebody that might... Let's see if he joins. I'm just hoping under And he would, because it's very impromptu. Oh, he is. Hello. Hello, you there? I don't want to reveal who it is, but I'm gonna have to say your name.
I'm Grunty.
Hi. Have you included your audio?
Indeed.
Okay. Hi. I'm sorry this is a bit impromptu, but
That's fine.
as you know, I was talking about F5. You are commentating F5 this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about this grid? Obviously, I know you've probably seen who's in it. Who's your any names that spring out for you?
Not really, to be honest with you, Brundle. Well, sorry, Michael.
Mhm.
I think they've all got a good shout this season. I think obviously up the AlphaTauri boys. But I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a really good season to watch. A lot of battles. You know, I'm looking forward to having quite a lot on the grid as well because we've got a lot of reserves as well. So it's going to be fun.
Obviously, you're back in the comms box full time for the first time, I think, since Spain last season. I think in S04.
Something like that.
The last one you did. Yeah. So I'm guessing you're kind of excited going forward for this season.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting used to the drivers and getting back into comms. So it's going to be fun to see.
Yep. And obviously, you are commentating with a mystery surprise guest for this season.
I am indeed.
I so want to tell people, but I can't. I know
It will be revealed. It will be revealed on Discord. As soon as the stream ends, it will be. Everyone will know who it is. I'm hoping you'll be quite excited.
Are you going to do it that way? I thought you were going to wait until.
No, I'm not going to tempt people that much. I'll be nice. I'll be nice for a change.
Okay, fair enough. But it is exciting. I'm excited. I'm sure you're excited, and I'm pretty sure people won't be disappointed of who it is.
No, God knows.
Because that's the thing we must obviously say. For those watching, for those that see this, you know who it is.
Well, they will know eventually. Yeah, they will know. Obviously, if you're watching this back tomorrow or the day after, then you're gonna know who it is.
Material Limitless.
I wish. Imagine.
Oh no, it's Jimmy Broadbent, isn't it?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Well, you're not meant to tell. It could have been. You just.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. You know, it might be too muddy. You never know.
But no. I'm very excited to see what you can do. I'm very excited what you can do. So, yeah, looking forward to it. If you had to put your money on it, who's your? I'll make it easy. Who's going to win constructors? I think drivers is. Yeah, because I think drivers is going to be difficult. I'll give you. If you had to pick a team, who would you say? I mean, I picked Renault.
I think Renault's a good team. Yeah, with the Kraken and Yuzkin, I think they're a good team to pick for sure. I think. It's difficult.
I put Renault, Williams,
I feel like
Ferrari.
the constructors is harder to choose than the driver.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at how tight constructors were last season in most tiers. You know, it's hard to judge. Like, you would never have thought, oh, last season, for example, in F2, oh yeah, it's going to be Haas who wins it. You know, you don't know. Well, it was McLaren, I think it was in the end, wasn't it? But you wouldn't have thought that at the start, would you? You wouldn't have gone, oh yeah, it's going to be McLaren with the drivers they had, and then all of a sudden the drivers got changed, and then it was also McLaren was the top team. So you never know. Anything can happen. People can leave, people can rejoin. You know, so. I'm looking forward to tight racing because I think F5 is a good division this year.
I'm just looking at something, and I think I'm correct in saying this. I think there's only one driver on this grid that has won an RSF1 race before. I think that's Tedist. Rep me. Oh no, and Andy Yuzkin.
Yuzkin won Abu Dhabi, didn't he?
Yes. Apart from that, and maybe Timmer.
think Tim has won
'Cause I'm
one,
sure
yeah.
he won a race last season. But apart from that, there's a lot of people that haven't won a race, if not for ages, might get their first win this season.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Potentially. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I know that was a bit impromptu, but
That's fine. It was a bit out of the blue.
I wanted to hear your thoughts. So
Yeah, no problem at all.
yeah, so for tonight, obviously it's the first round in F5 in Australia. 8 o'clock tonight with Grunty and...
Mystery guest.
God damn it, I can't say it.
Mystery guest.
It hurts me so much. I really want to and I can't. Yes. Make sure you join us for that at 8 o'clock for the action. I'll be watching anyway, that's for sure. Until then, take care. F1 is tomorrow. I made the mistake yesterday and said F1 was today. It's not. It's F5 today. It's F1 tomorrow and F4 on Thursday. So join me tomorrow afternoon or whenever I upload it for the grid preview for F1 tomorrow. But until then, make sure you watch the F5 tonight at 8 o'clock. Take care and see you later.
Bye.